Have you ever stopped to think about that tiny chip inside your phone? The one running your apps, sending your texts, powering your photos, your music, your maps, your memories. That little square of silicon might seem like nothing, but it's one of the most powerful pieces of technology in our modern world. And right now, that chip, something most of us take for granted, is at the center of a massive global shift. See, for decades, the United States has been the undisputed king of semiconductors. We built the blueprint. We set the standards. From the early days of Silicon Valley in the 1980s, right up to today with giants like Nvidia, Intel, AMD, American companies didn't just lead the chip race. We were the chip race. These weren't just products, they were tools of influence. Chips became the backbone of our military systems, our satellites, our hospitals, our stock exchanges. If you controlled the chips, you controlled the future. But things started to change. Fast forward to the last few years, and the US began clamping down hard on China's access to high-end chip-making tools. The government placed restrictions, export bans and blacklists on Chinese tech giants like Huawei and ZTE. The message was loud and clear: no cutting-edge chips, no chance to catch up. To many, it looked like game over for China's tech ambitions, but China didn't fold. They did something else, something unexpected. They went open source. Here's the twist: this move wasn't built from scratch. The architecture they turned to, called RISC-V, wasn't born in Beijing. It came from Berkeley. Yep, right here in the US. Developed by researchers at UC Berkeley, RISC-V is what's known as an open-source instruction set. Think of it like the Linux of chip design. Unlike Intel's proprietary tech or ARM's expensive licensed architecture, RISC-V is free. No patents, no gatekeeping, no middleman. Anyone in the world can take it, tweak it, and build their own chip. And that's exactly what China did. Faced with rising restrictions, they doubled down. Over the past few years, Chinese universities, startups, and state-backed firms poured over $50 million into RISC-V development. They weren't just responding to sanctions, they were building something new, a chip ecosystem completely free of Western oversight. Then came the big milestone. In 2024, Chinese engineers unveiled something called the Xiangshan processor. It's a high-performance chip, fully based on RISC-V, and along with it came IOLI, a brand new homegrown operating system designed to run on that chip. Both are open source. Both are Chinese-led. And both mark a giant leap toward tech self-reliance. Now, for a moment, step back and think about what this really means. This isn't just China copying Western tech. This is China forging a new path, one where the blueprints are open, one where innovation isn't limited to who has the right license or who plays nice with Washington. They're building an entire chip ecosystem that the US doesn't control. And that's a pretty big deal, because up until now, global tech has pretty much followed one rule: American rules. If you wanted the best chips, you came through us, our companies, our systems, our supply chains. But if China, and maybe others, can build powerful chips without that system, the entire equation changes. It could mean a world where no single country holds all the cards, where smaller nations get access to world-class chip tech without billion-dollar budgets or political leverage, where innovation isn't dictated by export licenses, but by who's willing to collaborate. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Is this bad for the US? That depends on how we respond. On one hand, it's a challenge, a real one. We're not just dealing with competition anymore. We're dealing with an entirely new philosophy of tech development. One that doesn't revolve around intellectual property or closed systems, but on the other hand, maybe this is our wake-up call. Because here's the truth: the world is changing, fast. And we can't lead by simply holding the keys to the kingdom anymore. We have to lead by building, by innovating, by opening doors instead of closing them. RISC-V was born here. That spirit of open innovation, that's American too. So maybe the real question isn't, will China catch up? Maybe the question is, are we ready to compete in a world where innovation is borderless? A world where the next great tech breakthrough might not come from a Silicon Valley boardroom, but from an open source lab in Shanghai, or from a student startup in Nairobi, or Berlin, or Sao Paulo. Because the future of technology isn't just about faster chips. It's about who gets to build them, who gets to dream with them, who gets to shape what's possible. So the next time you unlock your phone and scroll through your apps, remember, there's a chip inside making all of that possible. And somewhere out there, someone's working on the next version of that chip. Maybe they're in California, maybe they're in China. Either way, they're writing the next chapter, and that chapter, it's already begun.